For decades, Jackie Chan has been celebrated as the smiling action hero of Asia. The man who broke bones for his films, risked his life for every stunt, and brought Hong Kong cinema to the world. But behind the iconic films, the global fame, and the wholesome public image lies a side of Jackie Chan almost no one talks about. While audiences saw a legendary actor, financial investigators saw something else: a quietly constructed business empire stretching across Hong Kong, the Caribbean, mainland China, and Hollywood. At the center of that empire were 9 companies, discreetly registered, strategically layered, and hidden behind jurisdictions designed for secrecy. When leaked financial documents exposed these offshore structures, a new question emerged. How did Jackie Chan, a figure known for discipline and charisma, build one of the most complex celebrity financial networks in Asia? And why did he need so many companies scattered across the world? Tonight, we peel back the layers of a fortune that didn't come from movies alone. From licensing deals to property holdings, from tax-optimized corporations to global brand partnerships, we uncover the architecture of a financial machine engineered to protect and multiply wealth far beyond the spotlight. This is the side of Jackie Chan the world was never meant to see. Not the action star, but the strategist. Not the hero, but the empire. Long before anyone discovered his offshore companies, Jackie Chan had already transformed himself from a Hong Kong stuntman into one of the most valuable entertainment brands on the planet. His rise wasn't just a story of talent. It was a story of timing, strategy, and an instinctive understanding that fame alone wasn't enough. Jackie Chan realized early that if he didn't control his business, someone else would. And in an industry dominated by powerful studios, triad-controlled financing, and unpredictable politics, control was everything. His first breakthrough came not from martial arts, but from reinvention. When Bruce Lee died, Hong Kong producers desperately searched for a new action star. Jackie tried to fit the mold, but audiences didn't want another Bruce Lee. They wanted something new. He responded with a formula no one had tried: comedy mixed with danger, slapstick mixed with bone-breaking stunts, humor threaded through fear. The gamble worked. His early films exploded across Asia, and overnight, Jackie Chan became bankable. But success in film didn't satisfy him. He paid attention to where the real money went, and most of it didn't go to actors. It went to producers, distributors, licensing agents, and companies that owned the rights, not the performances. Jackie studied that system carefully, and as he moved into the 1990s and early 2000s, he quietly shifted from just starring in films to owning parts of them. He created Jackie and Willie Productions, then the JC Group, and took on executive roles that gave him profit participation instead of just paychecks. Hollywood noticed his global pull and brought him into major franchises, but even there, Jackie negotiated differently from most Asian stars. He pushed for back-end deals, merchandise royalties, and international distribution bonuses. He wasn't just collecting a salary, he was building equity. At the same time, Jackie expanded horizontally. He entered real estate in Hong Kong, Shanghai, and Los Angeles. He launched product lines, clothing, fragrances, restaurants, beverages, fitness centers, even a chain of cinemas. Every brand carried the same promise. Jackie Chan wasn't just a person, he was a global asset. By the mid-2000s, insiders estimated that a significant share of his wealth came from non-film ventures. Licensing alone generated millions. Endorsements brought in more than most of his movies. And as his fan base stretched across continents, Jackie realized something crucial. To operate globally, he needed a global structure, one that could legally and efficiently manage investments, intellectual property, royalties, and cross-border income. That structure couldn't exist inside China or Hong Kong alone. It needed offshore hubs, tax-friendly jurisdictions, and companies positioned specifically to receive revenue from different countries without being taxed twice. This wasn't scandalous. It was standard practice for multinational corporations. Jackie simply built a version fit for an international superstar, By the time leaked documents would later reveal his offshore footprint, the truth was already clear. Jackie Chan didn't stumble into wealth, he engineered it. And the 9 hidden companies linked to him were not random entities. They were the foundation of a global system designed to protect the fortune of a man who understood that fame fades, but financial architecture lasts forever. When the leaked financial documents surfaced and Jackie Chan's name appeared linked to 9 offshore companies, the revelation stunned the public. Not because the structures were illegal, but because they exposed a side of him few had ever imagined. These entities were not random shell companies scattered across distant islands. They were carefully placed pieces of a global financial architecture designed to hold intellectual property, manage revenue streams, protect assets, and navigate the complex tax realities of a star whose money flowed across more than a dozen countries. Most of the companies were registered in familiar offshore havens, the British Virgin Islands, Samoa, Belize, and the Cayman Islands. These jurisdictions were chosen not for secrecy alone, but for advantages that global celebrities, athletes, and multinationals have used for decades. No capital gains tax, flexible ownership rules, and corporate confidentiality. One company controlled licensing for Jackie's name and likeness. Another held partial ownership of specific film projects. Several others managed intellectual property tied to merchandise, hotel partnerships, fitness chains, and international brand deals. A few were inactive holding companies, financial storage rooms for future ventures, and at least one entity was linked to real estate investments in Singapore and Los Angeles. To understand why these companies existed, you have to understand how global income moves. When Jackie Chan earned $10 million from a Hollywood film, the payment didn't always go directly to Hong Kong. Sending it straight home would expose it to higher tax burdens, double taxation, and complicated reporting requirements. Instead, the payment would first land in an offshore company, often one that Jackie or his trustees controlled. From there, the funds could be rerouted legally to holding companies in Hong Kong, mainland China, or other business hubs. In the entertainment industry, where intellectual property rights can generate revenue across multiple countries simultaneously, this structure wasn't just convenient, it was necessary. Another layer of the offshore network was asset protection. Jackie Chan's fame made him a constant target for lawsuits, contract disputes, and political complications. Holding assets through offshore entities created a buffer, making it harder for litigants to seize properties or revenue streams. If an issue arose in the US, assets in the Caribbean remained untouched. If problems emerged in mainland China, Hong Kong-registered companies shielded foreign income. It wasn't secrecy for secrecy's sake. It was strategic compartmentalization. The documents also revealed layering. Certain companies owned stakes in other companies, which in turn owned subsidiaries. This multi-tiered structure created distance between Jackie and particular assets, all while maintaining ultimate control. It was the same strategy used by Fortune 500 firms, Silicon Valley billionaires, and global athletes. Only here, it was attached to one of the world's most recognizable actors. Critics pounced on the offshore revelations, suggesting impropriety. But investigators and tax experts were quick to clarify. Nothing pointed to illegal activity. Offshore does not automatically mean criminal. It means strategic, especially for figures navigating multiple tax jurisdictions. In fact, several of Jackie's companies had been disclosed to relevant authorities, and many were tied directly to legitimate ventures known to the public. What rattled people was not wrongdoing. It was the contrast between Jackie Chan's public persona and the corporate sophistication beneath it. For decades, he had been seen as the humble stuntman who rose from poverty, the cheerful hero who did his own stunts, the philanthropist who donated millions. But the offshore network revealed something else. Jackie Chan was not just an entertainer. He was a financier who understood currency flows, tax treaties, and asset protection better than most CEOs. The 9 companies did not expose a criminal empire. They exposed intelligence, the kind that builds long-term power, and they revealed a truth hidden in plain sight. Jackie Chan didn't just act on screen behind the curtain. He orchestrated one of the most complex celebrity financial systems in Asian entertainment. Long before leaked documents exposed his offshore architecture, Jackie Chan had already built a business network so vast and interconnected that no single industry could contain it. His film career made him famous, but it was his corporate strategy, quietly expanded over 3 decades, that made him powerful. And unlike most actors who depended on studios or agents, Jackie treated his career like a multinational corporation. Every film was an investment. Every endorsement was an asset. Every partnership was another brick in a global fortress. His earliest ventures began with the most reliable industry foundation, production. Jackie created his own studio and stunt team, not just to control creative work, but to control revenue. The JC stunt team evolved into a talent factory that supplied performers to Hong Kong films, Hollywood sets, and Chinese blockbusters. By keeping production in-house, Jackie minimized costs, maximized profits, and built loyalty that money alone couldn't buy. But production was only the first circle of his empire. As his fame soared in the 1990s, Jackie expanded into brands, not endorsing them, but building them. Jackie Chan Design, Jackie Chan Jewelry, Jackie Chan Eyewear, Jackie Chan Cafe, and even Jackie Chan branded bottled water all carried the same signature. Products centered not on functionality, but on lifestyle. He wasn't just selling items, he was selling the idea of Jackie Chan energy, safety, reliability, discipline, and global appeal. These ventures spread across China, Singapore, Japan, and Southeast Asia, forming a network of commercial footholds that grew steadily with his fame. Then came real estate, the backbone of long-term wealth. Jackie Chan purchased high-value properties in Hong Kong, Shanghai, Beijing, Singapore, and Los Angeles. Some were publicly known, many were not. Real estate gave him stability against volatile film markets, especially during Hong Kong's political shifts and China's rapid urban expansion. In some cities, Jackie didn't just buy apartments, he bought entire floors. Several of these assets, according to financial analysts, were held not under his personal name, but through offshore holding entities. This allowed him to move ownership quietly, protect properties from liability, and avoid inheritance complications across borders. But Jackie's most lucrative partnerships came from global corporations. His endorsements spanned decades and continents. Mitsubishi, Canon, Pepsi, Lenovo, Adidas, Disney, Dragonair, JCDecaux, and countless Asian consumer brands. These deals were not ordinary celebrity contracts. Jackie negotiated profit sharing, equity stakes, and licensing rights, arrangements that turned endorsements into long-term income streams. When he collaborated with beverage companies, he sometimes secured distribution rights in specific regions. When he partnered with tech brands, he locked down exclusivity deals that boosted both his earning power and his corporate relevance. At the same time, Jackie explored entertainment verticals often ignored by actors. He invested in cinema chains, theme park concepts, martial arts academies, animation studios, and philanthropic organizations structured like hybrid enterprises. His charitable foundations doubled as public relations engines and influence-building platforms. His relationship with the Chinese government strengthened his position further, allowing him access to state-backed productions, cultural initiatives, and promotional campaigns that elevated his brand far beyond film. Every piece of this network, production, branding, real estate, endorsements, philanthropy, and media influence, was interconnected through layers of companies across Hong Kong, mainland China, the US, and offshore jurisdictions. Revenue from a film in Los Angeles could pass through a Cayman holding company before funding a Beijing real estate investment, which then generated profits used to produce a documentary for a Hong Kong broadcaster. This wasn't chaos, it was choreography. And Jackie Chan was the choreographer. His business ecosystem operated like a corporate organism designed for one objective: protect the brand, expand the wealth, and neutralize risk offshore companies held intellectual property. Onshore companies distributed income. Partnerships diversified markets. Real estate anchored stability. Brand deals multiplied visibility. In total, the structure resembled something closer to a conglomerate than a celebrity portfolio. By the time financial documents brought attention to his offshore entities, Jackie's public image as a humble martial artist no longer matched the scale of the empire he quietly built. What the world saw as Jackie Chan movie star was only the outer shell. Behind it stood something far more formidable, a global network engineered with the precision of a multinational CEO. And the exposure of that network triggered a storm that reached far beyond fan circles, pushing Jackie Chan into a spotlight he never anticipated, not as an actor, but as a businessman whose financial architecture suddenly became global news. For years, Jackie Chan's financial empire operated quietly, efficient, discreet, and nearly invisible to the public eye. But everything changed the moment global investigative journalists unveiled a massive leak of offshore documents, sending shockwaves through governments, corporations, and celebrity circles worldwide. Buried inside thousands of files were the names of politicians, billionaires, CEOs, and one entry that stunned Asia's entertainment industry: Jackie Chan, linked to 9 offshore companies registered across multiple jurisdictions. The leak didn't target Jackie specifically. It was part of a sweeping investigation, the kind that pulls back the curtain on a system designed for secrecy. When reporters cross-referenced corporate registries, legal documents, and nominee director lists, they discovered a web of entities tied to Jackie through trustees, corporate managers, or family-linked representatives. None of the companies were illegal. None were proven to be shells for illicit activity. But the sheer complexity of the structure, spanning the British Virgin Islands, Samoa, Belize, and Cayman, raised new questions about how much of Jackie Chan's global fortune had been built or protected offshore. International media reacted instantly. Outlets like the BBC, The Guardian, HK01, and the International Consortium of Investigative Journalists ran stories examining how a beloved action hero became part of one of the most sophisticated offshore networks in Asian celebrity history. Analysts dissected each company. Which one held licensing rights? Which one handled distribution earnings? Which one owned properties overseas? And which one was used as a pass-through for foreign income? What emerged wasn't a smoking gun. It was a blueprint. The public response, however, was far more emotional. For decades, Jackie had projected an image of transparency, humility, and moral clarity. He was the charitable superstar, the national cultural symbol, the man who performed death-defying stunts and promoted discipline, respect, and family values. Seeing his name in leaked documents felt, to many fans, like discovering a hidden double life. In reality, he wasn't doing anything unusual for a global star. But perception had already shifted. Chinese social media lit up with debates. Some defended him, arguing that offshore companies were common tools for international actors dealing with complex tax treaties. Others accused him of hiding wealth, even though no evidence supported criminal intent. Mainland commentators walked a careful line, balancing national pride with curiosity. Hong Kong media was less forgiving. They revisited past interviews, business partnerships, and financial maneuvers, hunting for any clue that might deepen the mystery. As the controversy grew, Jackie Chan maintained an uncharacteristic silence. For weeks, he said nothing. No press release, no denial, no clarification. Insiders claimed his advisors urged him to avoid public statements, fearing that any comment could be misinterpreted or politicized. Others believed he simply didn't feel the need to explain what was legally allowable. Eventually, through representatives, he offered a brief acknowledgement. Offshore companies, he said, were a standard financial arrangement for international stars. Nothing more. But the leak had already done its work. What truly unsettled observers wasn't the offshore companies themselves. It was the glimpse into the scale of Jackie's financial machinery. For the first time, fans saw the architecture behind the Jackie Chan brand. The trusts, the holding companies, the cross-border licensing deals, the subsidiaries built to protect assets from geopolitical risks. And wrapped inside all of it was a realization journalists couldn't ignore. Jackie Chan had spent decades building a business structure far more sophisticated than anyone imagined. For regulators in Hong Kong and mainland China, the leak came at an inconvenient time. Financial transparency was becoming a political priority, and celebrity wealth was under increasing scrutiny. Although Jackie Chan faced no legal consequences, the exposure forced officials to consider how many high-profile figures used similar structures. It sparked discussions about tax fairness, corporate disclosures, and where the boundaries of legality and public expectation should lie. For Jackie Chan, the fallout didn't destroy his career, but it altered something fundamental: his mythology. The world had always seen him as an action hero who rose from poverty, broke barriers, and achieved greatness through grit alone. The leak revealed a different reality. Jackie was also a strategist, a corporate architect, and a man who understood global finance with the precision of a seasoned tycoon. And for many, that revelation was more shocking than any stunt he ever performed. When the dust settled from the offshore leaks, a different picture of Jackie Chan began to emerge. Not the daredevil leaping from rooftops, but the architect of a global empire built to outlast careers, markets, and even political cycles. And while the revelations surprised the world, they did not weaken the structure he had spent decades assembling. If anything, they highlighted its durability, because Jackie Chan didn't simply accumulate wealth. He engineered a system designed to preserve it long after the cameras stopped rolling. His empire today functions more like a network of interlocking fortresses than a collection of businesses. Many of his assets, from properties in Singapore to brand royalties in the US to intellectual property rights across Asia, are placed under holding companies rather than personal ownership. This allows the empire to operate regardless of personal controversies, market downturns, or geopolitical shifts. If a political climate becomes hostile in one region, assets stored offshore or in foreign jurisdictions remain insulated. If the entertainment industry changes direction, Jackie's non-film ventures keep generating revenue. His business footprint became a living organism that adapts even when Jackie does not appear to be steering it. What truly sets his empire apart, however, is how deeply it extends into arenas most actors never touch. Jackie Chan's influence in Chinese entertainment gives him access to major film studios, state-backed production companies, and cultural initiatives that amplify both his brand and his political value. His philanthropic organizations, structured like hybrid corporations, serve dual purposes: charitable outreach and long-term public positioning. His real estate holdings continue to grow in value, regardless of film trends. And his licensing rights, spread across multiple countries and companies, ensure that the name Jackie Chan can generate profit even decades after he retires from acting. The Offshore network, although controversial in the public eye, plays a significant role in stabilizing this legacy. By distributing assets across multiple jurisdictions, Jackie minimized exposure to regional economic shocks. No single government, market, or lawsuit can destabilize his entire financial base. Instead, his wealth is layered, protected by trusts, managed by advisors, and fragmented across companies in ways that ensure continuity. It is the same strategy used by international corporations, only refined for a celebrity whose income streams cross borders as quickly as his films once did. But beyond financial security, the structure reflects something deeper: Jackie Chan's understanding of the global system. While most actors rely on agents, managers, or studios, Jackie learned early that the entertainment industry is volatile, and that survival requires independence. The offshore companies, the brand partnerships, the diversified investments, all of it points to a man who realized that legacy is not built on fame alone, but on infrastructure. Yet even with his empire intact, Jackie's reputation occupies a more complicated space. The leak stripped away the simplicity of his image, revealing a businessman whose strategies resemble those of major tycoons rather than movie stars. For some fans, this shift was unsettling. For others, it simply confirmed what his achievements always hinted at. Jackie Chan's career was not an accident of talent, but the result of relentless discipline and financial intelligence. As he steps further away from high-risk stunts and blockbuster headlines, the empire takes on a new role, not just as protection for his wealth, but as a blueprint for what Asian celebrities can become in a globalized world. Younger actors now study his approach, learning that long-term success requires more than roles and awards. It requires infrastructure, networks, partnerships, and the willingness to build quietly behind the scenes. Still, one question remains. What happens to Jackie Chan's empire after Jackie Chan? Some of his companies appear structured for succession, designed to transfer assets smoothly to future family trusts. Others seem positioned to evolve without his direct involvement, powered by managers and partners he has worked with for decades. Whether the empire expands or contracts after him will depend on forces he no longer controls. Shifting politics, new financial regulations, and the unpredictable future of the global entertainment landscape. But one thing is certain, Jackie Chan's off-screen empire will endure far longer than any of his on-screen stunts. And the leaks that once shocked the world did something unexpected. They revealed the truth about his legacy. Not just a martial arts legend, not just a movie star, but a financial strategist who built a global machine so resilient, so intricate, and so deeply layered that even a global investigation couldn't shake it apart. In the end, the offshore leaks didn't expose a criminal scheme. They exposed a truth the world had never bothered to look for. Jackie Chan was never just a cheerful stuntman who fought villains on screen. He was a strategist who understood the global economy long before most celebrities even thought about financial autonomy. The 9 companies tied to his name were not signs of deception, but signs of preparation, a carefully engineered network built to protect everything he earned from the instability of fame, politics, and time itself. What shocked the public wasn't what he did, but that he had done it so well, for so long, without anyone noticing. Behind the flying kicks and broken bones was a man who built a corporate fortress strong enough to survive scandals, recessions, and even international investigation. A man who knew that success is temporary, but infrastructure is eternal. And while the spotlight tends to fade for every actor, Jackie Chan ensured that his influence, his wealth, his brand, his empire would remain long after the final stunt. In a world where celebrity fortunes rise and fall overnight, Jackie's hidden empire stands as a reminder of how power truly works. Not in the applause, but in the architecture buried beneath it. The question now is not whether his system will endure. It's who else in Asia has built a similar one, and how many more empires are still waiting to be uncovered.